first of all say thank you very much for coming to Moscow and for your teachings here. As we all know, Losar is coming soon. So yeah, we would like to ask you maybe some advice on Dharma practice, and maybe some congratulations on Losar.
So, in this case, Losar Tashi Delek to everyone. Losar means New Year. So it's actually like more Himalayan and Tibetan New Year. So it's nothing so much related to the Buddhism, but because in the Tibet and Himalaya, where the Buddhists where the people have very strong Buddhist influences. So on the New Year, people believe that in the start of the New Year, on that day, if whatever you do is very much influence the whole year. If you do good things, and the whole year will be doing better. So if you are more happier on the first day of the New Year, and the people believe that the whole year will be happier. So this kind of, based on this belief, we also do pray on the first day New Year, and when people get up and they do the offering to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, making like offerings, and they make prayers. So I'm thinking that yes, as we just learned the Lojong practice, and when we talk about how we should practice in entire our life, and putting all practice in 5 categorized, and then one of them is Pambetop, which means actually power of the influence, power of the motivation. So, which means when as a Lojong practitioners, they said should to make always like a promise that I will to practice 2 bodhicitta today, or this month, or this week, or this year, or maybe whole life. And making this kind of promise, whenever we remember of it, it has immense power to drive us to in good practice, bodhisattva practitioners. So it's the same thing like in the start of the New Year and the first day. The best wish is usually we said the Losar Tashi Delek, but if the people want to make some meaningful ultimate aspiration, they should make aspiration that I will practice relative bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta in this year much better than before last year, and then not only myself, make aspirations to everyone, able to practice, may they generate relative bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta, and where whoever have already generated bodhicitta will never decrease, and may whoever have already practiced those 2 bodhicittas may increase. The faster. Something making aspiration to do like that, to making this kind of aspiration is going to be the ultimate aspiration, ultimate Losar Tashi Delek. So, yes, then also this, also I think that Johnson Chenzer Rinpoche always said, ordinary people like us, the best thing what we can do is making aspirations. So first day of the Losar, actually making aspiration is very important. As I mentioned that like this, and not only that, we can make aspirations, like for example, may the whole world have a peace and harmony. May the whole world will never face any, the unpleasant situations such as natural disasters, such as famines, such as wars, or something like that. May whole world have a sort of a peace and harmony, kind of making this kind of aspiration in the first day of the new year. It's definitely one of the best greeting. Not only Losar actually. I think the New Year is very subjective. It's that we have just Western New Year already gone. Chinese New Year just a month ago. No, not a month ago, but now every New Year, in the first New Year, if we make those aspirations, it will make very different for whole year.
So Khenpo, we just had and still have several days of Lojong teachings. Mm-hmm. So our question is, why are these teachings so important, mm-hmm. and why they considered to be the foundation of the Buddhist spiritual path? Is it true that for highest practices we need this foundation first?
Well, yes. This what we learned last few days. It's the very just drop the ocean of the Lojong practice, but we actually touch many essential points, like 7 point. This 7 point mind training is extremely important. It's important means, of course, as I few days ago, as I mentioned, that whole Buddhist teaching is basically our mind training, which is Lojong. So particularly this 7 point mind training, it's pith instruction. Pith instruction means, okay, whole Buddhist teaching are mind training, but many people are not so learned, not so, intelligent, or or not so, so they cannot putting in a categorizing, or cannot make how, when you putting into practice, they definitely needed the guidance step by step, like a recipe. Mm-hmm. When you're making a meal or food or something like that, you need to have a recipe, right? It's a similar, the 7 point mind training is one of the best recipe of the mind training. And that's why it's called the pith instruction. And also Lojong Henju, which means it's extremely important teaching lineage, and one of the 8 practice lineage in Tibet, came to the Tibet. It's the Atisha lineage, and so it's very important but very simple. Putting in the 7 point, and then as we trying to explain or study in a very simple way, so it's not so difficult to understand it, but It's make you to understand, equal to understand the entire Buddhist teaching. And then, yes, it's a foundation. Not only it is foundation, it's actually actual practice. In nothing Buddhist real practice excluded from this, this 7 points. For example, like I mean that all valuable practice point are included all these 7 point mind training teachings if the one practice properly. So that's why it's not just only foundation. Foundation means it's just a foundation because if the someone have not trained mind properly as it is guide, then no matter what kind of other practice they practice, we really don't know which direction they go or whether they're helpful for them or not. So because of that, if the person who have already practiced this 7 point mind training or the especially relative bodhicitta, exchanging practitioner, Tangli, what they call Tangli practice, and then that person is a, whatever they practice, and Vajrayana practice. Vajrayana has many different kind of techniques. There will be how to say walking much better. Those who have not who has not trained their mind, then sometimes when they practice, like for example, like deity yogas, they can be wrong, go wrong. So it's a Lojong practice is it's a foundation, but not only foundation. It's actually this Lojong practice is the main practice of the entire Buddhist teaching. I can say that because like a first point is included all Sharakayana's practice. First, like value the human life and impermanent and karma causalities, and also the defects of the samsara and renunciation. So practice that first part is already included all the Sharakayana's practice inside, and then additionally, then actual point, actual Buddhist second point, there is two like practice of the ultimate bodhicitta, relative bodhicitta. If someone practices the ultimate bodhicitta, then like as I mentioned that Madhyamaka view or view of the non-indivisible samsara and nirvana, or Mahamudra or Mahasankti are already included. They are no other than ultimate bodhicitta. So when you practice the relative bodhicitta, so then already included entire both in relative bodhicitta or ultimate bodhicitta, already included every like a Mahayana Buddhist practice, both Sutrayana and Vajrayana inside. So it's really, really important, but very simple. So because of that, people, people need to have something colorful. But this 7 point mind training is not that colorful. Maybe 7 point mind training will not teach what. Well, when you learn or heard 7 point mind training, maybe you will not heard what you wanted to hear. When we teach 7 point mind training, you will heard what you need to hear in order to achieve the Buddhahood. So it is very important. And then also really effective, the people who really value this, it is simple. It's very simple. That's why it's simple means that the practice itself not simple, but because of the great Kadampa masters and the lineage of these Lojong teachings, and then it's made very simple for us, thanks to them. And then, as additionally, I would say also you can call this Lojong practice is the foundation, is because like when you look at the another practice lineage such as Dzogchen, Langchen Hwendo, which means the primary practice of the Langchen Ramjong's primary practice of this Dzogchen. Okay, so those are also actually based on this 7-point mind trainings. And then Taupo Tarji, which is Omnimeds of the Nirvana, which is written by Gombopa. That's based on this 7-point of practice, Lojong practice. And then like Lamde, the Nonsum, that first the triple vision, that's also based on, or how can I say that already this practice is there. So yeah, you can also call the foundation, but not only foundation, as I mentioned, it's actual practice. Mm-hmm.
So you just mentioned different traditions, different practices, and we know that Buddhism has a lot of different schools and views. So the question is why there are so many and how to navigate among them.
Okay, so this as Lojong practice, Chugum Gompa Chipto, no matter what kind of different lineages and different names are there, all are for subduing, sub-cherishing, developing, cherishing for others, which means compassion, bodhicitta. So, as I mentioned that there are many lineages. Lineages means like as a Tibetan Buddhism, example Tibetan Buddhism, because the Buddhism came to Tibet is not one time. It's many centuries. And like King Tizong's and Theravada during those times, like Losar such as Berotana, Kavapaze, Chorulidamse. So during that time, they translated from Buddhism from India to Tibet. And then after 1 century, almost 1 century later, because during those times they have also demolished the Buddhist, the Buddhism, and also Buddhist, demolished many texts. And but then, like 60 or maybe 70, 80 years later, there's another translator, Rinche Zombo, and so then Marwa Losar and Roma Losar, many of them came, and they translated again Buddhism to Tibet. So those earlier translation and the later translation, they have a different terminologies, little bit different terminologies, because the language also changing centuries, like language will be changed. So also translation terminology was also a little different. So, but then in the first translation lineage was not completely demolished, completely destroyed. They left a sickly cave, all those things. But then in their lineage still continued, but then many of them destroyed. And so people who follow that all the translation lineage is called the Nima. And then later translator, the new translators translate many Bodha Sutras and Vajrayanas, and then there are also great translators such as like Losar, who translated for Vajrayana, went to India, bring back to Tibet. Then his translation, his lineage following is called the Kaju. And then Atisha, just now we come to from Indian master, come to Tibet and have many students and also translators. And then Lojong lineage is called the Kadam. And then like Roma Lotsava, another almost little bit earlier than Mabba Loza, but the same time. And he also went all the way to India and they learn Sanskrit and become the Pandita, and then they come down to the Tibet and translate Vajra and many Vajrayana and many texts, and then that lineage slowly like a Sacha. So lineage comes from like, even though the teaching is the same, but the translating and the following translators and the lineage we have a little bit different. Those are not purposely made. This can or naturally come. However, the main thing that good thing that those translations in later translations almost they're using the same terminologies, and then even the language updated. Most of the texts which you have recorded, they have retranslated. Retranslated means update. They nowadays update the language. So because of that, like all translations right now, we have a collection. It's called the Kanjur. So that those language almost they using same terminologies. Very good. So in this sense, then and people sort of how to say just name that lineage like a Kaju, Sacha, Nima, and then later Gelo. Those names, most of them name from the monastery, where the place name like Sacha. The place is a white ground, and build the monastery there. The monastery name is the monastery of the white ground. Sa means ground, Cha means white. So that monastery, and the monastery who go and follow that monastery, then that lineage called the Sacha. And Giluk, Gading, Jirambuchi first start monastery in Gading, the mountain, and then the place name, the monastery name became his follower, his lineage. So you can see those things. I want to stress here. There are no different schools. There are no different sects. Because I don't know last time what means the sect. Sorry. And until the few years ago, I had this I attended one teacher training workshop. At that time, when they explain what means a sect, so I realized that in Tibetan Buddhism, they have no sect at all, because sect means the word comes from like many years ago in a Western world, like Christianity. They have Catholic, Protestant, and Orthodox. So those they are sect. Because I heard some charge no allow other people the sect come to and pray, and then don't accept each other's completely like that. And then also Muslims have a sect like Hian, Huni. They don't accept each other at all. In this case, Tibetan Buddhism, we don't have the sect. We don't have the sect because we accept the same Buddha and accept the same principle teaching like this ultimate bodhicitta and relative bodhicitta, and then all systems exactly the same. So then, like for example, I usually saying this, giving example to others, like when you go to Taiwan, they have one Mahayana school. Okay, school nowadays we call using school Mahayana. So Mahayana, they have many temples, like Pogong-sang, Pago-sang, Siji. Those people who go that monastery and learn that master, they don't go each other quite often because they don't have time. They go just follow that. But they are not different schools. They are just different monasteries. So who follow that monastery? That monastery definitely have a little bit different, like mundaras, dresses, uniforms. Even different schools have a different uniforms, right? Little bit, but we still almost 90% same. So like that, there are no schools, no sect. Just this Pogong-sang, Pago-sang, actually Tibetan Buddhism sound like that. So then, before this, I don't know when that happened, people naming the Tibetan Buddhism like a yellow head, black head. I have never heard when I was my hometown, but and the later I explored people naming like a black head, yellow head. So in which lineage, yellow or red or something like that, I actually didn't pay attention at that time. But later on, I found it's a kind of quite disturbing because the branding make it very different. Yellow and black in the head is completely different. When you distinguish it between those like such a Gelunima with the colors, people don't know the background histories, then the give image is completely different. Actually not that different as I mentioned it. Or even if we say the lineage, but when go to the lineage, like Kadamba, the Losar practice, it's the Losar, the Kadamba practice lineage, it's not interrupted. It still are, but it don't have independently. Why? Because Kadam lineage is already still holding by Kajupa, Gelupa, even Sajanyima. They practice this 7-point maintaining is one of the main practice. You see, that like that. So when we look at that, that's why sometimes I also don't like non-sectarianism. Like when we say naming like our masters, non-sectarianism in Tibet. When you said that you need to have a sect inside, but we don't have the sect in that much. Only have a different monastery and a different lineages. Of course, in among that, then monasteries have sometimes a little bit different explanations. For example, in Tibetan, most of them same, and then come to the main point. If you understood real what the ultimate bodhicitta, what relative bodhicitta, then there's no difference. If the different, then one must be wrong. There cannot be the two. The ultimate bodhicitta. The correct ultimate bodhicitta is only one. There cannot be two. At the end of for example, like when you explain the ultimate bodhicitta, they definitely have a different method. The different teacher have a different technique or to make you understand a different method, like Sachi, Dzogchen, or Kondeme. Those are when masters introduce to you, they introduce you according to the experience or teacher's style or something different. So when it comes to the point, entirety of the ultimate bodhicitta itself, like they are not different or can't be different. If they're different, then one must be wrong. So in that sense, I'm just additionally taking an opportunity to say that we don't have the sect. In English word sect means you completely don't accept each other. It's like a sect means okay, you are a name and under the one name, but they don't agree each other at all. That even not sometimes not allowed to come in the church to pray, or then some don't even they become like enemies. So in the we can see some religious the sect, right? We don't have like that. So until recent time, there's one very small group of the they practice one deity. Then His Holiness Dalai Lama refused. So that part, who practice that, then it can be maybe sect. That's what my understanding of the sect, because then who practice that, then it's really become sect. That part only until these four schools are no sect. And also school also, I still don't really know what the school means. School is also kind of when learn. I know a little bit of school. I also feel that not really comfortable the four schools. So nowadays, some masters just saying four lineages, right? That's much better lineages, but they are not completely lineage which not related to each other. All are like a golden chain. When you know that, the most people who become sectarianism bias in even over Sangha community or Himalayan community, actually they don't know the history. One of the biggest weakness of the Vajrayana Buddhist community we have, they don't learn much of the history of Dharma. They don't learn much of the biographies of masters and the lineage masters. So if they really learn or read those biographies of masters, then they will know. They will know what I'm saying. That I'm not just trying to making like a sort of a harmony of the religious with a political correctness way. I'm not saying that, because I'm trying to follow the exact what Dharma, trying as much as I can exactly what the Dharma teachings and teachers should to do, not sort of trying to making something not really are, and I'm not like that. I'm not. So it's we have a different those things. But then you question. Sorry, it took long time. I don't know that's any kind of help. But you question. In Buddhism, there are many different methods. Maybe your question is we have a Theravadan and a Mahayana, Vajrayana. Vajrayana also have a Kriya, Kriya, Charya, Yoga, Anu Yoga, Tantriyanas, all those things. Those are many teachings. Those are the one of the make a Buddha is not only so compassionate, but so skillful. Because people's mind is so different. Everyone has a different taste. Everyone has a different opinions. Not easy to attach. Like for example, some people like Lojong. They think it's really good, but some people don't. Maybe they like more empowerment or something like doing pujas, kind of things. And maybe the Lojong practice, there's a little bit colorless. Colorless means very symbolistic. You don't have any sort of a instrument or dancing or singing or nothing there. But some need those things. So in this kind of things, like people have many different opinions, and that's a Buddha also not. Also, people have many different wishes, aims. Some just want to get out of the samsara. They don't so much care, but they want others just want them to get out from samsara. And for them, so the teaching, the Shravakayana teachings, that those are like a Mahayana's tribe. They not really just enough to get out of the samsara by themselves. They don't want to leave behind their loved ones. They want them also make free from the samsara, and in order to do that, they wanted to get a Buddhahood, but they just also like to do practicing like more like a more common sense, commonly accepted way, like a Mahayana path, like being generosity, discipline, being patient. Six parameters, practice 6 parameters. Those are, it's a kind of quite very great and amazing, and so they follow that. But some of them, not only that enough, they wanted to, first achieve the Buddhahood first, as much as they wanted for other sentient beings. They don't want them, other sentient beings, to suffer anymore so long. So then also have a much vast knowledges and intelligence. So for them, then taught them Vajrayana. So Vajrayana, some of them just like to practicing like visualizing Buddha and the Bodhisattvas and chanting meditation, but they're not so much esoteric practice such as like Ana Yoga Tantriyanas. So then Kriya, Charya, those according to people's interests. They taught many choices. So that's the many different people. That's also make it different. Why? Because they have a different level of the defilement, level of the tendencies. So because of that, then we need many, like a hospital need many medicines in order to cure patients, because patients have many different sickness. So similarly, like Buddha taught the teachings as our mental medicine, many different teachings. That's why it's needed, and also, it's necessary.
So all Buddhists usually have the aim to reach omniscience.
No, omniscient, Buddhahood.
So the question is, what does it mean actually, omniscience of Buddha?
Omniscience means that, who has all the answers. There's nothing that not knowing. Know every what you need to know. We can predict that Buddha also can be know the number of the dust, but also we don't care whether Buddha know the number of dust or whatever. What we need to care is that Buddha like has omniscience. Why we said that like a person like you or me wanted to achieve the Buddhahood, but we don't know how to achieve it. in order to achieve the Buddhahood, whatever we needed to do, whatever we have to do, practice, which level, what all the levels, what abandonment, what remedies. So there is nothing which Buddhists don't know. So people who has this kind of mind is called the omniscient mind. Omniscient means know all, everything. So yes, then we can understand like that way. So in according like our perspective, yes, Buddha know precisely, like we believe the Buddha has omniscient mind, which means the Buddha know precisely our mental state, what we're thinking, what kind of teachings will subdue our mind, and if the practice like this and there's what kind of a result can achieve, all those stage of the path, stage of the result. So everything precisely know, the mind know precisely everything, this kind of things. Then that we can say the omniscient mind.
The next question is, who is the Mara?
Oh, Mara. Mara is the self-attachment. Real Mara is who real Mara is evil, or Mara is basically obstacles, making suffer us. So the source of the Mara is self-cherishing, putting myself first place all the time, thinking myself every movement, for every movement or everything what we do is for myself, making that kind of cherishing self, that kind of is the real Mara, because that will making then illusions, many different, like show a lot of movies, night movies, and then basically those movie Maras are no other than our mind. That's what when Milarepa saw like Mara's illusions, even the Dasmo, which is Raksha of that mountain, who show furious to Milarepa, told that if you don't recognize the Mara as no other than your mind, then there's not only Mara myself, there's thousands of millions of Maras possible to subdue it. So it's almost impossible to subdue it. So if you subdue your mind, then subdue entire the Maras. He said like that, kind of, but not exactly word like that, but the meaning is like that. So in this case, the real Mara is no other than our mind, in particularly self-ego or self-cherishing, self-attachment, what we call. I trying to put in, trying to make understanding and then put like putting myself the first place. And yeah, that attitude or that mind is the real Mara.
How we can maintain a good connection with our Guru?
Oh, need to practice what we learn from teacher. When we practice what we learn from teacher, and then when experience the benefit of the teaching, then you don't have to force anything. You don't have to try or hard yourself to appreciate or maintaining good relationship with the Guru or have a more faith. Because when you learn something, receive something, okay, then after you check and you take as teacher and receive those teachings and learn, or not only learn, but practice it. When you practice this, if you experience something, the result of the practice, then it will automatically will make you to have a strong, not only appreciation to the teacher, strong faith, strong trust, strong confidence in the teacher, and that is the only way to you can have purely devotion to the teacher through the experience of the teaching, what you have received from the teachers. So that's the one the best way. And then another thing that also you can, real and Dharma teacher and student relationship can be more stronger. Stronger means having more pure vision, pure faith, pure trust is through when you appreciate the Dharma, when you value the Dharma, and then automatically you will value the teachers. Like if you not value the Dharma, then even you value the teacher, maybe you value the teacher as a very different way. Maybe you take as a boss, maybe you take as like your fantasy fan, the rock stars, or you know that the many different, like gonna be like some materialist way, not Dharma way. In Dharma way, one need to have the teacher have a one wanted to have the pure faith and vision to teacher. Of course, learn more teachers, and his quality, more compassionate, more wisdom. Those are also not easy to judge because we don't know other people's mind, right? We can know through what he or she does, what he or she do, and we can check through those, and then can read biographies. That's one of the will make us to have a more kind of a pure faith and appreciation to teacher, and then hear more from trustworthy Dharma friends, all those things, that one. And then also accumulate merit, also very important. Accumulate merit means, even you just offering like waters, flowers, or whatever you like. Even you can offer like technology things if you like to make like offering. The imaging to trying to make offering. Those are in your Shine Ram. In the Shine Ram, like Buddha Dhamma Sangha, imaging to making offerings. It's really good in the making. Then make pilgrimage, make aspirations. Those accumulate merit. Those people who don't have much merit, they cannot keep. They cannot have pure faith in Dharma as a real Buddhist teacher as well. So now many things, right? But among that, the real how we can keep and how can we appreciate and have more faith in the Guru is that we need to have experience. We need to get experience through the practice what we receive from the teacher. Then we can get unshakable unshakable faith, or I would say unshakable confidence in our teacher, on teacher. So that's the best way.